If something is really well designed, it should feel effortless. It's been said if you have shoes that fit really well, you won't really feel them. If you have a job you really love, it won't feel like work. And I think that's true for gaming. If you have to do a game because you remind yourself that you want to and you didn't really want to, and you have to remind yourself to make time for it, and then it feels like it's a struggle to get it into your day, then it starts to feel a burden after a while. And for me, I do get that feeling from a lot of MMOs because it just seems like there's so much content, there's so much to do, and it just starts to feel like an obligation. It doesn't feel like fun. But with Albion Online, I've come back again and again to this game because it's so easy to just fit it into my day. It feels natural. Like I don't have to work at it. It just happens. I log in on my phone, maybe. I might log in and do a little bit of checking my island or something while I'm walking around the neighborhood. There really is just no limit as to where and how you can access the game, considering it's very, very cross platform. I love that. And I also like the fact that there are no quests. So everything you do in Albion Online is just your own personal objective. Do you want to make more coin? Then do more content. That's kind of all there is to it. Do you want to play with friends? Well, then find some friends. Do you want to do guild activity? Then join a guild, or don't join a guild. Just play by yourself. It really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want in the game. And some people will say, well, it's a content shortage, or it's not fair to PvE players, or any number of things like that. But the truth is that the fact that Albion Online doesn't really have a lot of content to offer also means that you can play the game without feeling like you're obligated to play and you have to get through more content and you've got to grind your way up so that you can get to a certain point. And of course, if you wanted to be the most powerful player, you want to be really rich in the game, then sure, you could certainly sink your life into Albion Online. But you don't have to. Any more than you have to get rich in real life. You could just have a simple job that you love in real life and save your money and be a good steward of your finances and make good investments, and that's fine. Just like Albion Online, you can do whatever you want, and maybe it's boring, but it's possible. You can play the game in a really boring, simple way. You could play it 10 minutes a day and still have a bit of fun. And I think that that's really nice. It's nice to feel like you can have an MMO experience without needing to forfeit your entire life to upend it all and adopt a new full time hobby. And I have put a lot of hours into Albion Online. And one reason why I have, and I don't regret a single bit of it, is because it's so easy for me to multitask with Albion Online. I can grind in safe zones, and while I do that, I could have a phone conversation with somebody. I could be watching a TV show on the other screen. I could be listening to an audiobook, and it satisfies that desire to be doing something, so I don't feel like it's totally passive, like watching TV just sitting on the couch. But it's also really pretty mindless in the sense that I can do other things without feeling like I have to give the game kind of a one-on-one focus, as is the case with usually, I would say, most other MMOs. There's just a lot going for Albion Online in the sense that it feels effortless to play the game. It feels effortless to fit it into your routine, regardless of what your routine might be. I think everyone's in a different sort of place in life. Like maybe you have a family and kids, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a job that takes a lot of your time. There's so many different factors that could play a role in whether you feel like you have time to play an MMO. And with Albion Online, I really feel like you can, if you don't have high expectations, you can really enjoy the game very casually. And you can do it without needing to make an unnatural amount of space in your day or your life or your routine to accommodate it. And then if you want to put more time in and you do have that desire to do something more hardcore, it's not like it's not a very time intensive game if you want it to be. If you want hardcore content that's more stressful or more intense or more uh, centered around playing with teams or groups or guilds, of course, all of that is there. But if you just want to play the game like Farmville, kind of log in and kill some low level mobs and just chill out while you listen to some news broadcast or something, you can totally do that. And that's kind of enriching too, because then in a way the content that you're getting out of the game, if you play it that way, isn't just what's in the game. It's also what you're able to do and experience while you're playing the game. You know, if I sit here and I play this game and I listen to, you know, the trilogy of the Lord of the Rings while I do it, then, you know, did I get content out of that? Yeah, absolutely I did, you know. So it's kind of cool though to just have this casual game that I can play without feeling like I need to put any effort into it. And there's a quote I love that says Michelangelo, the great painter, he did the Sistine Chapel and all that stuff. He destroyed a lot of his lesser works because he didn't want people to know at the end of his life how much work had gone into making his work look effortless. I love that because it's so true. Great work looks and feels effortless, but it actually takes a lot of work to make something that just works. And I think the devs have done a pretty good job of that with Albion Online, making a game that looks very simple, that looks almost oversimplified as if it were maybe like a cell phone game or something, which it is to a point, but also to have enough depth in it that it's not a silly experience. There's a lot of cell phone games you could play and it doesn't really feel like there's any weight to them. There's no meat to them. They're clickbaity. They're there to get you to install them because the ad looks good, and then once you're into it, you realize it's only skin deep and there's nothing to it beyond just, you know, some sort of frivolous gimmicks that are designed to get you to hit a paywall so that you'll pay a ridiculous amount of money. And Albion Online has an authenticity about it that's pretty amazing. The music is wonderful. The graphics are clean and pleasant. The systems, maybe they're not perfect. I know there's always going to be people that gripe about these things, but all in all, it feels like a pretty real world. The money feels real. The commodities feel real. And there's just so much. There's so much that I would say positively about Albion Online. And yes, there are some negative things, but overall, it is a good game. And yeah, the community's totally crazy and off the rails, I would say, but that's not every single player. And with life, you got crazy people out there. But then if you look past all the craziness, when you find a few good ones, then it really kind of makes up for all of that, I think. Anyway, my recommendation would be, yeah, give Albion Online a try. It is truly free to play if you haven't already. And the more I think about it, the more I've got to say it's definitely worth giving a try, regardless of who you are. I like the game. I'm very fond of it, and sometimes the things that you actually love aren't the things that are perfect. It's kind of funny that way. Like on paper, you can find something that looks really good, but then in truth, it's not really all that great for you. And I think that that's something I've kind of realized. There's games that I think are better, absolutely, but then not necessarily games that fit well into my personal routine and play style. And learning to accept that has kind of made me, I think, a little bit more at peace with you know my my tastes in games. You gotta ask yourself the question, do I have fun with this? Not is this the best game? Because the best game might not be giving you a lot of fun and enjoyment. Um, and maybe something else is gonna, be more fun for you. And if that's the case, then you should do what brings you joy, and what kind of inspires you on some level. So that's that. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And till next time, on behalf of the Raccoon Republic, wishing you a wonderful day. Take care and goodbye.